Like, how are we going this deep already? What's been on my mind a lot today? Um, it's a real fiery time. I felt the fire and known the fire for some time. She's sort of insatiable. There is this deeply destructive force, the ownership of being, of just knowing, realizing, embracing, understanding. I am the most destructive force. And as my mind would do it, I am is the most destructive force. Yeah. If the I am is everything, then the I am chooses, right? I am that I am. And there is a part of me, a really beautiful, magical, miraculous, incredible part of me that is the utmost destructive force. And I'm dancing with. And so much of this walk has been learning to dance with the potency creation and destruction, right? And it's so dynamic in that we're here to really rewrite a big story. And so much of that is naturally rewritten as we destroy. When those downloads, when those thoughts, when those, uh, it almost nails my tongue into a strange place. These thoughts, feelings, emotions, responsibilities, accountabilities, and downloads. Potent, 10 on the clock. Potent. I know that there is a version of you that will better than anyone else. Mm-hmm. 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 And there are parts, listen, sometimes it's hard not to be in a love affair with that experience. Oh, the free falling, high rising, exorcism, cleansing, the whole of it, the full feelings of free falling in a place that you know is also destruction, a freedom, a phoenix freedom. In riding that heat, that fall, that total crumbling to ashes. And let's be real, wielding that is the most powerful, potent tool. Listen, there are ways to burn things down. There are ways to dismantle that are actually really so much more fruitful than destruction, being destructive. But there is also the unavoidable, like, the phoenix comes from the ash is like nothing left, nothing left. And so this lifetime and choices in this lifetime, because there's such a delicious and delicate dance with destruction in this lifetime, there's a massive, first of all, massive feelings of the heart, massive. Like bigness, right? Which we can perceive as a heaviness, We can create all kind of perceptions around the way that it touches the body, and we can be in touch with the way that it touches the body. And my curiosity is in satiation of those things, like needing to be in the expression of distraction as creation. And the binding and unbinding, up, off, of this life experience, this human experience, this lifetime, this that which we came for, to feel all of it, to know all of it, to experience all of it, to express all of it. And in this beautiful fluidity, in this motion, that actually creates the most recalibration, like puts a new heaven, puts heaven on earth, like dealing this ferocity, dealing in this ferocity, in like the most gentle way possible, like always holding so much space to save people from themselves, right? Right. In no way are we saving others, but we're softening. We're here softening. We're here softening. We're here softening. We're here creating space, creating space. And then there are times some of us are called into this dismantling, something delicious, something slightly destructive, something that takes things apart, but also puts things together. And like, what is that space? And as we explore what grounding in pleasure looks like here, pleasure to this place, pleasure to this place, holding a space of pleasure is so dismantling to the system that has chose to remove it from the equation, or at least tried to set up a system that made us forget that pleasure gets to be part of the equation. And in this walk of recalibrating pleasure, there's going to be a lot of destruction around exterior layers, thoughts, feelings, emotions, stuff, things. Like there's going to be destruction. Yeah. There's going to be static. There is going to be a holding of space in lightness that causes everything to shift. Light, we know, as an indication, is a feeling. We talk about weight or things being heavy or dark, right? Opposite. We're just working on a 180 scale here. Gonna be uploading the 180 conversation and probably integrating into a lot more live space the 180 conversation. How do you hold space in the balance to create the balance? How do you take a swinging, it's like a wrecking ball? How do you hold, how do you create gravity? How do you create an attraction point that slows everything down, that settles it down, that gets closer to center, which we could also call alignment? People want to think there's one track, one train, one way into alignment, or that alignment is a particular thing or feels a particular way. No, light is a feeling. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And in order to create alignment, there's holding of space that balances, that neutralizes other things happening. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it looks bonkers. It looks bonkers. Here's one that I know you know of because it's made its way to the surface and I know you have understanding. Slow down to go fast. That looks bonkers. At one point in time, no one could fathom even slowing down in order to speed up things to come through, that leaning out, that resting, that letting things gel actually creates a more sturdy and beautiful foundation. No, everybody wanted to do it all on their own, work hard, boss life. So you know an example of this already, how it can look bonkers. Bonkers. For someone to be in a space, even that which came through my mouth, of pleasure, when there is so much opposite of pleasure taking place everywhere. Enter your word, enter your circumstance. This radical accountability to our own world. Mm-hmm. The supernatural space that holds and what it transmutes from the mind, body, the soma of the earth. It's wacky. Feels like a crazy talk. Mm-hmm. And yet, this is what comes to me. This is what whispers to me. I know her voice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know the pull. I know the feeling. I know light. Well acquainted with darkness and contrast. So, really unique times riding these waves and enveloping pleasure through the process. It's going to sort people around you really quickly. Those that are not comfortable or have been in a vibration or a frequency, as you would call it, with pleasure, that there's an actual feeling, a feeling to lightness. And it's so unfamiliar here in this planet, on this place, that it makes people uncomfortable, especially in like woo community where everybody thinks they're top notch higher than I. There is this great covering of false teaching. There is a great deception. There's great chaos. There is no shortage of anti-Christ, of out of alignment. No shortage. Mm-mm. No. So we're called to be in a feeling of light, of lightness, to see and feel things and then find and know the contrast, the 180 that holds space and peace, not like swinging the pendulum, right? Not that kind of 180, but someone is up here at this degree. It's kind of like neutralizing in the color wheel. So much of this theory came from my early training life understanding of just the natural palette of creation, which you can move into like a little micro understanding of like the color wheel. We can also call it the spectrum. Yeah, if you hear me talk, I talk a lot about the variety, the whole thing, 360, the wheel. And in this neutralization process and bringing things into a beautiful tone, into a beautiful color, into a beautiful lightness, a beautiful opaque, a beautiful density, a really rich and magnificent color. In order for us to color this place up, we've got to sort of neutralize some of the seasoning here, some of the flavors of this place, this planet, this earth. And there's so much destruction taking place. I know that destruction is dropping into my presence, my present awareness, because there is so much deconstruction taking place. Hello, I know. I ordered it. Because without it, um, where does one actually come into questioning what's around them in order to come into the feeling of light, into lightness? Yeah, into right relationship, into congruency, into connection, into relationship with everything and the something we are and the nothing we are and the everything it is. How? And it's our time, it's our generation, it's the line in the sand. Like all humans that are here in this moment are here to act this out, to play this out, to literally be a conduit of frequency change. So here we are. And with all of this, a great destruction of destruction. How do I destroy destruction? I want it gone. I want to destroy all this destruction. You can destroy attachment to it. You can literally liquefy away from it by sensation of the body. To be in somatic practice, not just in release and trauma release and all these ways of breath work that we're like moving things in excavation out of the body, but you can also use it to move things into the body. Yet to be in a space, to be in a place, vibration, frequency. There is a sound. We can include breath, that we can include all of this that has been here before we got here, before any of the humans came into form here, that there have been these tools, this movement before we came to understand movement, right? This beginning when one looked at another. To create harmony with all of creation, all the things that have multiplied, have moved on since one just looked at another. Meaning in some terms and context, when God created, when it was no longer just God, it was also creation, one and another. You can see it, yes, in this beautiful flower of life and all the ways that it expresses itself. Again, this is like base most knowledge of understanding right now. This is, if you're not hearing me, if you're not picking up on the frequency and you don't already have a precursor of understanding to the literal heart math of our experience, that we are conduit beings. And we only have the choice to channel, to switch the frequency, the dial. And we're called into a neutralization now, which looks wacky in a world of destruction, to be in a place of such magnetic removal of your own blah and a receiving of the true treasure, the light, the lightness. For me right now, it is like, can we call in pleasure? Can there be pleasure here? What does pleasure look like? Like, listen, the quickest place you can, let me just tell you, all of you have access to pleasure, like pleasure. I'm positive. We have tasted it. We have touched it. It's just that we need more of this flavoring. If you eat, you've experienced pleasure. So I know that it's already built in. The food grows, we create fire, we have this opportunity to gather all the things from around us and create something that when it touches our mouth, such pleasure can erupt in our life, erupt in our bodies, erupt in the mouth, just like drooling, quivering of the lips. Pleasure, come on. Like, you don't have access to pleasure. I'm not saying just eat yourself into pleasure. I'm saying it's one of the aspects of variety, and we get to draw in, we get to pull in, we get to pulsate pleasure. More pleasure, please. More pleasure, please. More pleasure, please. Interesting. Interesting download topic for this to come through. I speak to you every day, all the time. If only I can get to the place where I can actually speak to you all the time. Oh gosh, it's going to be so much fun. We're going to go on a beautiful, there it is, shift, shifting it all, shifting all of it. Rewriting the whole story, reweaving the whole tapestry. Yeah. Yeah, this is our journey together. We'll get closer and closer. This is a beautiful dance, us getting to come together, more ears, more hearts, more pleasure, more pleasure. And this golden ratio, I'm going to do a second episode to this. The golden ratio is coming up. I know that that's really important to pour forth to you, through, through you, through you, to connect with you through this, because you already know there's already innate sensibility to this ratio in your life. And I love you so, so much. And thank you for walking through this journey of life. Thanks for being here. Thanks for staying. Definitely keep going. Definitely keep going. Definitely keep going. Pretty please. We're going to make it. I love you.